All right, Joe Lauzon, first fight week in 2.5 years, man. Give me the feel right now, the emotion setting in, the reality setting in of what you're about to do again.
It's here. As soon as when we first got off for the fight, I'm like, do I really want to fight again? Are we sure we want to do this? And then, like, once I sent the email, I sent the text saying, yeah, man, it was like, then it immediately felt very, very real.
That's awesome. So talk to me about during this 2.5 year layoff. I mean, what was your relationship with MMA? How much did the sport play? I know you're in a gym every day, but I guess how much was MMA on your mind and part of your life?
Every single day. So like COVID like threw us so many curveballs, right? Like because first we weren't allowed to have the gym open at all, and then we could have the gym open and we were training together, and then we had to separate into cohorts, and then it was just like there's just been so many like changing rules and regulations and things that we had to follow. So it's just been kind of a little bit of a roller coaster. I had no interest whatsoever in trying to fight during all of that. Like it just like there was so much going on. Like the worst thing would be okay. Like we do an entire training camp. We try to have this fight, and then one of my corners test positive, or I test positive, or Cowboy test positive, or whatever. So like I think we're past all the craziness. I hope. But
yeah, it feels that way at this point, thankfully. So was it really, did it just boil down to COVID then, really more than anything else? Because you had a great performance, obviously, the last time we saw you. And then it did kind of wonder, like, why is it taking so long in between?
Yeah, it was 100% COVID. Like my last fight could have been the last fight. Like that could have been the last one, right? It was at home in Boston. It was a flawless fight. Didn't get hurt at all. Beat a tough kid. So everything about it was ideal and perfect. And maybe it should have been the last one. Right. But now we're going to roll the dice again and we're going to see what happens. But I had no interest in fighting during COVID. That was the big thing. I've been trying to fight since probably like last summer was when I started kind of texting Sean Shelby, like, hey, look, keep me in mind. I heard you guys are coming to Boston. I heard they were coming to Boston last fall. So I was like, hey, if you just so happen to be coming to Boston, I know a guy, so it didn't work out. But we're back at it now.
We're back at it. So what was it that finally got you to say, yes, was it just the thought of them coming to Boston again? Or was there something that triggered inside you that was like, it's time, let's go?
So if they said they were going to come to Boston, obviously I would want to throw my name in. Right. So, that was like the big thing that kind of got me thinking about it a little bit more. But it's just like my entire adult life, I've always been getting ready for a fight. Like my entire adult life, since I was 18 years old, I've had a fight coming up or a grappling tournament or something coming up. So I'm always in the gym. I'm always training. You might not see me. Like I hate the people that like post on like Instagram nonstop or Twitter, like, oh, in the gym, hitting the bag. Like, it's like, that's just not me. I'm glad they're in the gym, but I could do without the Instagram story update every single day. But so I'm in the gym. You're not seeing it on Instagram, but I'm there every day.
Cowboy as an opponent, it seems like perfect matchmaking, right? To you, is this the right fight to make as well?
I think so. We're both similar age, right? It's neither one of us wants to fight a 22-year-old kid, right? It's like that's just it's nice to be on an even playing ground, so to speak. We both have similar experience, right? We both have. I think he has better stand up, but I think I have better jiu-jitsu. But we've both been in all kinds of different fights and wars and bonuses and everything else. I think that I train more consistently than him. I think I'm at like kind of like a dull burn all the time. Whereas I think for him, it's like, it's like crazy sparring and then time off and then out on the lake and then in the gym really hard and then riding a bull and then in the gym. You know what I mean? Like, I think we both, beat our bodies down in slightly different ways. But I think it's very comparable all the way.
Yeah, I dig it. I thought when they announced it was the right one. Talk to me about, I guess, just kind of what this fight means to you or what fights in. Like you said, you've been doing this your entire adult life. So as you get prepared for this, is this just like, okay, another day at the office? Or is this, like, oh, this is a special moment. I know I don't have very many of these left in me or what? Is it just going out and having a fist fight? What is this for you?
It's, I hate it when guys are like, oh, this is the last one. This is gonna be my last fight. Like I'm definitely not saying that, right? Like before my previous fight, I said, hey, if this fight goes really bad, it's probably the last one. But I'm not gonna put, I'm not gonna commit to anything. And then it's the same thing here. Like, like if this fight goes well and we beat Cowboy, maybe we run it back with Jim Miller a third time. I don't know. But I'm excited to get back in there. I think that, short of maybe Conor McGregor, Cowboy's probably the most well-known fighter there is. You know what I mean? He's in all kinds of stuff. He's just got a great Instagram and great social media presence. He's doing movies. He's doing this. He's doing that. So he's a very, very popular fighter. So that part's kind of cool. But it's a fight. People get all caught up in like all the media and interviews and this. Where am I going to be on the card? What time am I going to fight? What am I on pay-per-view? Am I on Fight Pass? Am I on ESPN? Like none of that matters to me whatsoever. Right? We could go to my gym and we could beat each other up on Saturday, and if they're going to pay us the same, that's all I really care about.
Yeah, paycheck's got to be there.
Yeah, let people see the fight and whatever. It doesn't matter. But I don't get all caught up in like, what does this mean, or the higher meaning or whatever. It's literally like we're gonna get locked in the cage and we're gonna fight.
So how do you make a decision on what the future holds, Joe? Is it, is it win or loss, or is it more like, how you feel you performed, or how comfortable how happy you are with the execution, or is it boiled down to results?
Results definitely play into it. I told my wife that if I get beat up again, we're done. Right. So I figure I got one more, so if I don't get beat up by Cowboy and we win, we can roll that forward next time, so I don't know. I think it comes down just to wear and tear and, how many times do I get hit in the head? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get hit in the head at all, ever. You know what I mean? I try to have good defense, but like sometimes you get cracked and you got to keep on pushing through and you got to go through it. And, it's once you commit and you're in there, you're in there. It'd be very, very easy to be like, oh, that was a good one. We're done. Okay. We're done. And that's just not how it goes. So it's kind of like a long-term, like health and safety and everything else. You know what I mean? Like I'm 37, I'll be 38 this month. How long do I want to do this? Like, I really like right now I'm pumped that I'm doing it. Like I'm so excited. Like I had a good camp. I'm so glad that we're done with all the strength conditioning and all that kind of stuff, because that is just miserable, right? As you get a little bit better, like, oh, we're gonna make it a little harder. Oh, we did a good day. Oh, next day is gonna be a little worse. So I'm glad to be done with all that. But the aside from the strength conditioning part of it, like I love every part of camp. Like I love working out, working on mitts. I love working on wrestling. I love working on jiu-jitsu. Like I love that part of it. Unfortunately you have to be in really good shape. So you have to do all the strength conditioning, the miserable part. So it's more a question of like, how long do I want to do that for? But I feel good. I feel ready.
So is it still, it sounds like it is. It's still a passion for you. It's still something you love to do, not just the way you make money for your family, basically.
Oh, so I think that some fighters kind of get stuck, right? It's like they have no other way to make money. Like my gym's been doing great. Like I was talking about all the COVID stuff and all the hoops we had to jump through, right? But this is like the last maybe 4 years, I've been like pretty serious about trying to grow my gym. My gym never really made a lot of money, right? Because I didn't need it to make money, right? It gave me a good environment to train in, and I made most of my money fighting. But then as I started getting closer to the end of fighting, I started okay, I need the gym to perform more like a better business, right? It shouldn't just be like this thing on the side. It should be like a priority. It should be a big part of things. So the gym's been doing great. It's crushing it. I could never fight again. I don't like the gym is doing great. Like I love doing the gym stuff. I put a lot of time in on the gym. The last 2 months, I have not put as much time in the gym because I've been focused on the fight. But like when this fight's over, I will be back to doing the gym. I got a whole list of things I want to do for the gym after this fight, and the kind of things we want to improve and get better at. So I'm not in a position where like I have to fight. I'm fighting because I want to fight. Like I want to do this. I want to be here. I wouldn't say that I'm excited for it because I don't really get excited for it. But it's been nice to have a goal in the last couple of months. And I will feel I'll have like this enormous weight lifted off my shoulders come Saturday night. Win or lose, doesn't matter. Just having like this thing that's been like hanging over me for the last 2 months, 2.5 months, and having it, be off my shoulders will be really a really, really good feeling.
That's awesome. Let's talk about you as a mixed martial artist at this point. Can an old dog learn new tricks? In this 2.5 years away, should we expect some new wrinkles, a different Joe Lauzon, or do we just kind of know what we got at this point since we've been watching you our entire life?
You kind of know what you're to expect. Liz, we worked on I started working with a Muay Thai coach, Jake Manini, who works with like Rob Font, Calvin Cater, a whole bunch of other really good local guys. And like my last fight, we worked on a whole bunch of things that we just didn't use, right? I landed a good shot. I took him down and the fight was over, so like I didn't show anything. And then during this time, we've just been working on things and adding and just, so now we just have all this time where we've kind of been banking stuff away and we'll see what happens. So a lot of times it's like, everyone has a plan and they get punched in the face, right? We have like this big elaborate plan, do this stuff, and I get hit with one good jab. I'm like, oh shit, okay, here we go, and we're right back to it. But like I've always been of the mindset you should always be trying to get better. Like fight camp is not for getting better. Fight camp is for getting in shape, right? But in between, is when you try to get better. And I'm working on things all the time. Like I'm always trying to get better, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, kickboxing. I'm always trying to get better at those things. Even the last, last 2 years, we've been working on things.
So knowing that this could be the last one, but you don't really think it's the last one. The last one could have been the last one. I just wondered, do you not want to be able to walk into one and have like the big send off or have like that? Like, do you not want to circle one and go like, this is definitely win or lose the last one, so that, I don't know, you can get maybe the love of the fans, you can get that respect from the promotion, you can have an end date on it. Do you not desire that at all?
I mean, I kind of do, but I hate going into the fight. I think the second you say you're gonna retire going into the fight, it's like you've already kind of lost the fight, right? It's like you're saying, okay, I know that I'm not adequate. I know that I can't do this anymore. And I don't feel that way. We might find out on Saturday that, oh, this is not for me anymore. But I don't feel that way right now. So that's the big thing. During the last 2 years, I was kind of second guessing myself, like, should I have just retired and, done it at Boston and said that was it and all this other stuff, but if I'd done that, we wouldn't have had this fight. Wouldn't maybe have a Jim Miller fight or whatever else can happen. So who knows? I don't need the love. I don't have to be the center of attention. I don't need to give me a pat on the back. I'm very much I care what I think about myself more than anybody else, So, if I think I went out there and I fought like a dork and I fought a horrible fight, I will be more upset about it than I will be about how the fans feel about it.
I know you said you don't worry about card placement, but I will ask you, you are on the main card of a pay-per-view, which is pretty cool. It is a packed arena, which, a lot of people have had to deal with these Apex fights. You're not going to have to deal with that. I mean, does any of that excite you at least to know you've got the respect of being on the main card and you're going to be in a packed arena as well instead of, the Apex?
So originally this was going to be at the Apex. This is supposed to be this past weekend. And Cowboy and I both, neither one of us are happy. I wasn't going to rock the boat on it, but he was like, hey, he's like, I fought at the Apex. He's like, it's not happening again. He's like, I'm not telling you to stop training, but I am telling you, there's no way we're fighting April 30th at the Apex. He's like, so take that for what you will, and then we both basically started tag teaming Sean Shelby. Like, hey, let's move us a week later. And then we got the fight moved. What I really like about the placement on the card is we know exactly when we're going to fight. Right. So it's, where the pay-per-view starts at 10 Eastern. So I know that, 10:05, 10:07, we'll be walking to the cage. We'll be in the cage at 10:10 and we'll be ready to go. It kind of sucks sometimes, when you're the second or third fight, because you don't know, are those fights going to go the distance and now you're going to fight in 45 minutes or an hour, or are those fights going to be fast and you're going to fight in 15 minutes? It's a little bit hard to kind of plan and kind of just plan your warm up and getting ready and all that kind of stuff. Whereas this is the best spot. This is the best spot on anything, is the first fight of the pay-per-view.
How much did Sean Shelby push back? Did he cave pretty easy, or you veterans tagging up on him?
I don't think he had a fighting chance. I mean, we didn't. I didn't pressure him that much. But it was more. I think Cowboy was on him, nonstop. And I'm like, hey, I don't mind waiting an extra week if you want to do this. I think this would be a lot better. And he's like, I'm on it. I'm working on it. I've been hearing it from Cowboy. So I think it was Cowboy that did most of the heavy lifting on that.
That's awesome. It's funny because there's been so many new fans that come to sport. There's gonna be a lot of people, Joe, that probably have never seen you fight before. As crazy as that is, isn't that nuts?
It's nuts. It's so awesome. The UFC is growing all the time. There's all kinds of new people. I love reading that. So I'm on Reddit all the time, right? I live on Reddit. I'm a dork. I'm a computer kid. But I'm just seeing the comments and oh, this would have been a good fight in 2015 and all sort of stuff. People just hating on it and everything like that. But there's definitely a ton of people Lauzon's still on the roster. I thought he retired, all this other stuff. So it's yeah, we're here. We're ready.
I love it, man. Well, I know you guys are gonna put on a show. Like I said, it's perfect matchmaking. I hope that you can continue on. But let me just ask. I mean, if for some reason this does end up being your last one, how do you want people to think about you and remember your career? What do you want the page and the MMA history books to say about you?
I hope people just remember being excited for my fights. I know there's certain fights where you're getting ready to watch, you're excited for a fight, and the fight is getting ready to start, and you start kind of sweating a little bit, and you kind of get into it, and you're super into it. And I hope people feel like that about my fights sometimes. I understand they're not always going to be, they're not always going to do the best for me, but they're pretty much always exciting fights, win or lose. So I think that's the way I want her to be remembered.
I love it, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it. For us old school fans, especially, man, it's great to see you back in there. And I think the new generation will be happy. There's no way this fight's not going to be good. So, last thing I'll ask you, I guess, is how are you seeing this play out? I mean, you've had a lot of time to think about it. As you said, man, you guys have a track record of exciting fights, bonuses, that sort of thing. I mean, do you feel like this is going to be a back and forth kind of fight of the night tight scrap, or is this something that you can go in and do what you did last time and stop it early?
I hope it goes just like the last one, right? Like, why go and get beat up and then forget this fight of the night stuff? Let's get performance of the night. Let's not have this like long scrap and everything else. You know what I mean? Like, let's go out there. Cowboy's a slow starter. I'm a fast starter. I will carry the torch. I will take it to him right away. We'll take him down. We'll guillotine him, whatever we're gonna do, and we'll call it a night. You know, no one has to get hit. No one has to get kicked in the face. Like, we don't have to do any of that stuff. We just go get it over quick.
So you just be doing him a favor, right?
Yeah. I mean, no one wants to be getting concussed. We'll go out there and we'll take care of it.
I love it, man. Well, main card UFC 274. We'll see you this Saturday night. Joe, thanks for the time, brother. We're looking forward to it.
No problem. Thank you.